hear me? Okay. Back in 2003, when I graduated from college, I needed a bed, and of course, I had champagne taste and beer money. I could not afford the bed that I wanted, so I kept going back to the store thinking, can somebody just gift me this bed? And then I realized, I said, you know what? I can possibly build this bed. It was a platform bed, pretty basic. So I went to Home Depot. They cut the wood for me. I put it in my little Altima. It took me 3 months in my apartment to build this bed. And I thought, oh my gosh, that was amazing. How can I like do more of this? So I started doing things around my home, got married, started a family, put everything on the back burner. And then after the kids got a little bit older, I started building and making again. I'm thinking, is there a way for me to leave corporate America and do this all the time? I mean, could you imagine like going home and like telling your spouse, honey, I'm gonna quit and just hang out in the garage all day. I'm like, okay, please let something magical happen. Be careful what you wish for. I had 2 kids. My husband and I agreed that we were happy with 2 kids. That was our limit, right? The ratios were good. 6 months after this conversation, I find myself pregnant with twins. I'm like, we got this, right? We're gonna be outnumbered, but we're good. We need more beds. Right? I need more beds, right? I got the beds covered. So I did go back to work after I had the twins, but I realized that the twins were my gateway out of corporate America. I said, I have an idea, honey. I'll stay home with the kids. This is what I told him. But in my mind, I'm thinking, I'll stay home with the kids, but then I can get more shop time in, right? And that's what I did. So I left my job about 4 years ago, started the website. I'm not going to call it a blog because I just did it to share information with people. This is how you do X. Someone told me about Instagram maybe 2 years ago. I know this thing called Instagram. I said, what is that? What is a hashtag? I would send my photos to my younger cousin. She would hashtag them and send them back so that I could post them. And little by little, I kept getting emails and notes. Hey, can you make this? Can you build this? I'm like, sure. I have all the power tools, most of them at least at my house. So I just started making things for people. And there's a makerspace here in Atlanta called Decorator Makers. If anybody is interested in checking it out, I'm happy to take you there tomorrow for a little tour. But I joined this makerspace for the table saw because, you know, miter saw, bandsaw, those things work well in a garage, but 2 cars and a table saw, not so much. So I joined for the table saw, and I'm just like spending my days ripping wood. People are noticing, they're asking me questions, how do you do this, how do you work this, and I'm showing them. Then someone approached me, would you be interested in teaching woodshop classes here? Yeah, absolutely. I do believe, and I know my space is very different, but I do believe if you are passionate about what you're doing, the most important thing that you can do is share it. And I'm not just talking about blogging. I'm talking about getting out in the community and sharing what you know with other people, and really teaching is the best way to learn more. So I began teaching classes, and then I also began teaching children's classes as well. So I teach kids as young as 7 how to use the miter saw and the drill press. And let me tell you, that is the most exhilarating feeling in the world, for you to be there the first time a child uses a miter saw. Most people say, I would never let my kids near the saw, right? But we go over safety, and I hold their hand through the whole process. And I think for those of us who are parents or aunts or godmothers or godfathers or whatever, we are natural born teachers. And you can marry your love of teaching with your passion for whatever it is you're doing, and go out there, start a workshop, start a class, do something to share that knowledge. Don't just say, okay, I'm just gonna blog because it pays the bills. Because after a while, you're gonna need something else to fuel that fire, and you're gonna need to feed your soul with something else other than making money. But share what you know and teach whatever you can. But that is how I got started.
Wow.
I feel like we already talked about how.
Time and capital, that was the question,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
I got off on it like Oprah show or something here.
Saturday.
So, like Amy, I didn't invest, well, time definitely, but capital. I already owned a lot of the power tools, and I was comfortable using them, and thankfully I found a makerspace here that had the tools that I didn't have. Now here's what, I guess where this can relate to you all. you're thinking, okay, if I want to teach a class, where would I teach this class? Because I'm assuming most of you would not want to open up your homes to that. Check your city for local maker spaces. Check your local library. Like Amy said, she went to the paint store and was able to work with them. So think outside of the box about areas that you can approach or locations that you can approach and say, this is what I do, can I teach this? When you start teaching, you become the go-to person, okay, on something. And I'm not so much talking about blogging because that's a global scale, right? You can reach people all across the world with that. But I'm mostly talking about growing in your cities, in your community, because a lot of the times, the information that you have, people want to hear it, and they hear it by word of mouth.
And you're an expert.
And you end up being, exactly,
Face.
right, I'm about face-to-face and relationships. You end up being the go-to person. And every single corporate job that I've had, every single job that I've had has come from word of mouth. I do no advertising, because if I did, I just would not have enough time to service people and help people like I would like to. So as far as your time, you know, with anything that you want to do, not just blogging, not just styling and staging, you have to put in the time. Nothing easy comes to putting in 30 minutes a day. We wish, right? But it's hard. It's hard to balance that work life. And if you have a full-time job, if you're still working full-time, it's hard. It's hard for everybody. So you know you have to put in the time. As far as the capital, go as cheaply as you can. If you want to teach someone how to style homes, rent a room at the local library. I think sometimes they do it for free if you have a library card. Take your vision board or your sample board there, have people come and meet you there. That will cost you, what, $15 or $20 to put that together. So think outside the box when you're thinking about your classes and the workshops that you want to teach. And I'd be happy to share some other ideas with you guys afterwards if you're interested.
I feel compelled to say one more thing on that. Absolutely value your time. I think that's super, super important.
Exactly. There is somebody that is not doing what you are doing. There's still room. I know that everybody is a blogger now. Everybody's on YouTube. Guess what? You're not. Right? You're not where you want to be, but you can be, but it's going to take work and effort. And this is a bonus one. I know we talked about time, but pro bono. That's probably one of the most important things you could do, because you never know where it could lead to. I'll tell you guys a quick story. Someone reached out to me, they found me through my blog, and they sent me this whole spiel about they were looking for donations, interesting donations for a fundraiser for their school, and they thought that I could put together some sort of class for kids, and they sent all the information, and I get to the bottom of the email, and the email is from somebody at my kid's school. And I said, yeah, of course I'll do it. I didn't know that they wanted things like this. So I donated 2 kids' woodshop classes to this auction. So they auctioned them off at a fundraising event, right? I had the makerspace cover the materials. My time was free. I didn't mind that. If you do what you love, you will do it for free, right? Money's good, but if you know. So I did these 2 classes, and one of the parents of the students contacted me and asked me would I do a class, a paid class, for she and her girlfriends. So I didn't initially get any money. I got fulfillment from doing the kids class, but I ended up getting a new customer. And now her 5 friends will tell 5 more friends, and then I'll just be busy all the time. So don't be afraid to do things for free, because you never know where we're at.
I was going to say that too, right along that same line.
You guys, so I'm a woodworker. I usually only follow woodworkers on Instagram, but this weekend has taught me so much more. Get out of your circle. You guys probably all follow other bloggers that do interior decorating and design. Get out of that circle, because you're probably wondering, well, how did Char end up here? I went to Workbench Con, which Kristen also does, and networked with a bunch of people there.
Which is also a phenomenal conference.
Yes, so
If you do DIY, go.
Yeah, you have to go. It's in Atlanta. I think it's February.
February.
Yeah, you have to go if you haven't
Workbench
been.
Con.
You will learn a lot and meet a lot of amazing people.
It's great.
But get out of your circle and meet other people. You never know what relationships you can make from that. So from my relationships made there,
Did you go in?
I got contacted, did you hear, with these famous people. So communicate with other people, follow other woodworkers, not just woodworking. Of course, I'm gonna push for that because I love it. but other people, because you can create a partnership, you can guest post on their blog or vice versa, you guys can go after a sponsor together. So you never know. I'm just saying, network and meet other people outside of your circles. We're here to form relationships.
Put it out
really
there.
is.
Put
Yeah.
it out there.
Put it out in the universe. You'll be amazed at what comes back.
Do you have anything else to add? Okay.
I'm good.
I want to make sure we have